know that you're thinking about lunch. So it's really some additional patience now needed. I know that. And I'll try to be brief and to say in concrete ways something about the topic of human rights defenders, women human rights defenders. It is a topic that interests me, and I already said after 26 years of working in this field, the field of sexual violence, my regular job is to provide counseling for adolescents and adult survivors of sexual abuse. That's my job. But at the same time, along the time, I thought what's actually happening with helpers, what's happening with us who are working in this field, what is, I would call it social position, what position in society, and what to do about it. And is that a topic that is really spoken out, or it is something that we are taking for granted, it is our life mission or something, it was already somewhere here, it's my life, not only work. So that's the topic that along the time more and more interested me. It's also because I live in Serbia, so to be a women's human rights defender in Serbia, it's not an easy task. And you saw that in this title I put few words, keywords, power and vulnerability. Yesterday when I thought about today, I thought maybe I should put also power, responsibility and vulnerability. Because with this power that we have as human rights defenders, we can really do something to take that responsibility that we have and make a change. I think that I was fortunate to see that something that I was part of that had some results. I think that I saw some change because 26 years ago in Serbia, no one spoke about sexual abuse, no one spoke about child sexual abuse. And I saw some change. I saw some results. Some of them you heard in our video regarding the work of Incest Center. I can mention also that when you are 10 years ago making as an organization a movie that you will see on Sunday, it's called Have I Told You I've Been Abused? And you received 10 years ago in Serbia as an organization, you received State Excellence Award, and you see that more than 40 times in 1 year it's broadcasted on a TV channel with national frequency, and that it was upon public request from citizens. Then you know that something is really happening. And at the same time, I had the really privilege to be in an organization that we really worked as a team with, I think, many skills, many different skills. And we didn't hire for 10 years long a national campaign against child sexual abuse. We didn't hire a marketing agency. We did it ourselves. And I had this experience that we were recognized by a main PR society, so it's society just for marketing agencies, who recognized our national campaign as the best non-profit campaign, and we won 1 year. It was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. So you see that you can design your own campaign, you can implement your own campaign, you can speak in a comprehensive way to citizens, and that it makes some difference. And you heard already about that our team lobbied toward the Parliament of Serbia, and that we rescinded statute of limitation. So you see that you can really make a change, and when it is about your power and your responsibility, that you can do something very concretely. We did also one other thing, which was, I would say it for Lily and I, it was one of two dreams. One dream was to rescind the statute of limitation, and another one was to introduce systemic learning about sexual assault issue into a national curricula of kindergartens, primary and secondary school. And Incest Trauma Center did it. We succeeded it. I would like to pay your attention to third table from me. So authors of that content which went to national curricula are sitting there, part of them, so please wave. Yeah, this is the moment. And Gordon as well, at that moment, Ombudswoman for the rights of the child and gender equality. So we worked with Parliament. We did it. It was something that our Ministry of Education we did it together, and they went to many European meetings from the moment of introducing it. Next 5 months, they went, I think, everywhere that they were invited to speak about this big result. After 5 months, we had here backlash. And it's important to know that from this power results responsibility, taking it in a very constructive way. At one moment you have backlash from clerical, ultra-right-wing forces. And what was happening, we've got a reaction which was, I will quickly tell you just a couple of titles from media clippings. I think that will give you the best idea what's really happening. You see that from this, if someone is asking or wondering what's this, of course that we worked, this is our video game. It's called Pac-Man, from Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, or whatever. We have here High Bishop called Pahomir, who was accused of sexually abusing 4 boys a long time ago, and it was before the statute of limitation was rescinded. So he got out from being in the court and from that whole case because the statute of limitation was still there. So that was the way to get out from being punished. And one of our activities was to raise awareness that it could be anyone, including someone who is from the church official, and of course that we are not liked by church. And it's not the first time that at the moment of introducing this topic into national curricula that you had reaction from church to something that was a result of the work of Incest Trauma Center. So what was interesting, it was the whole negative campaign which was orchestrated for a little bit more than 2 months, 2.5 months. And I will tell you these titles. For instance, it was one was saying children of age of 3, they're teaching them about sex. Then school manual for promotion of homosexualism. It's not even homosexuality, but it is homosexualism like some movement or whatever. So pornography for younger than 12 years of age. Then Ministry of Education introduced into curricula sexual techniques. And then saying twisted lessons for school children. And as well with some small subtitle, tiny subtitle, saying everything for money. And this one is, you saw that our wonderful translators brought me some paper. I asked, because this is not to translate from Serbian to English. It's saying that answers were cued or prompted us by Europe, by European Union. So they told us what to think or what to do. So these titles, and then it's interesting, it's good to know, the whole campaign was led by Minister of Education, the same person who was issuing thank you cards to authors of these educational texts. So our colleagues who are from our teachers network, they have these thank you cards still, but at the same time there is just through media announcement that these educational texts are withdrawn. So we have in written form that they are introduced, and for 5 months they were practiced. They were everywhere in kindergartens from age of 3 to age of 18 at the end of secondary school. So we have that in written, that it is introduced, but it's never issued a paper that you can see that it's withdrawn. You just heard that from through media, and it was also told in a very threatening way that for teachers who were practicing it, and everyone was practicing it, it started for 5 months, it was said that if you're going to do that, then like you have to say without your job, to shorten saying. So that all was in media all the time, so that was the only way that you could find out about this whole. And for instance, you had this title, Manuals for Sex Education, so it's now Sex Education. Manuals for Sex Education are withdrawn. And then at the same time you have, for instance, same day or day after, saying textbooks are remaining in use. And then next day, from Ministry of Education, again saying we are withdrawing educational texts, but educational texts on sex education. So this is again sex education and not learning on topic of sexual violence. So pretty confusing, and I have a couple of them in completely the same way, and then finally saying Ministry of Education, children will not learn about sex. So now it is about sex. So it's really something which is interesting to follow, and it is interesting to follow how you, as for instance, author of this educational that are done for the whole year together with Ministry of Education, in which way you are really treated. So it's very confusing, but you understand that it is also negative. And what is actually my point, it is that self-organizing of women, it's not, I'm not saying anything new, it's always attacked. We heard about patriarchy, we heard many things already today, but these attacks mainly go, as we already see from these titles, attacking is based mainly on sexuality of women, and in our case as well, engagement in anti-war movement. So that's also important to know, looking at Serbian context and wars in the 90s and until today also, for instance, Rama Centar being active in the process of confrontation with the past. And in that way I would like just to conclude by reminding you on this year was issued World Report on Human Rights Defenders that followed situation in 140 countries, and very shortly saying it showed some recent developments, and what was important is that there is that shrinking space for human rights defenders. Even it is said that it is there are increased risks, plus it's suggesting that in too many countries there is a kind of war on human rights defenders. So that's something from that report, and I would conclude with saying that I deeply believe in highly valuing the work of women human rights defenders. For me that is really very important. It is not only for valuing, it is also for celebrating. Incest Trauma Center, I will give one example in which way we tried to contribute to that valuing. Here in Serbia we have one female journalist who is living for, now it is 10 years, under police protection. because she was investigative journalist, doing all kinds of topics about corruption, about assassination of our Prime Minister many years ago, many topics which are sensitive for the state. Part of the threats that she experienced was that she would be raped. That was publicly on a football stadium expressed by hooligans, and there is also on the internet, you can see in which way, very frightening way that was happening. Incest Trauma Center decided, that was in 5 years ago, we nominated her for before International Women's Media Foundation in US. We nominated her to be, she was not only nominated, she received, it's called Courage in Journalism Award, and it's in US, it is recognized as Oscar in Journalism. She became one of 3 people for that year in the world whose work was recognized. And that is the way, that's how we are thinking that each of us who is really working very hard, not only that should be protected by the state, but my invitation for everyone is that we really connect. This is, for instance, this is the topic that really interests me, and I invite you that we think together in which way we could, as European Women's Network Against Sexual Violence, praise and celebrate our work. Because we all have results. I'm completely sure that each of you can now rewind moments when your work was under some kind of question, or that you were not feeling very powerful, but at the same time I can imagine that you have very many powerful moments when you had results in this field. So please think about it. I invite you that we work together on this topic. Thank you very much.